Yo, what it do, what it is, your boy Troublemaker the Rapper here. And I just finished listening to the Eminem CD Revival in its entirety. And I gotta say, gosh damn, it is so fucking well put together. It is one of the best albums I have ever heard. It is through the roof different, stylish, and as an artist myself, and as a huge Eminem fan, I can depict what I think is, you know, the portions of the album. It is just so mind blowing. It's electric. I can go on and say great words about it, but let me give you some examples. Okay, when I was listening to Castle and A Rose, I literally felt the emotion he put in. Like, it was making me sad. Like, if I was gonna cry, I was probably gonna cry because, like, of how powerful that was. Um, okay, I'd like to also point out that this album has zero skits. And while I was listening to it, I was doing some research and I was going back. I'm like, what was the last time he had a skit or some skits on an album? And then I went back. And the last one that I could tell was Relapse. And that was with Dr. West and, all those other skits that followed to make the album. But this album, all the words spoke for itself. Revival. Fucking the album that so many people have put down. A lot of my peers go, it sucks. Like, you're wasting your time. Don't listen to it. I didn't listen to any of them. In fact, I chose to not even listen to Spotify's full playlist. Like, there was one or two, three songs that got released on YouTube, and I went and I listened to those. There was like Walk on Water, there was River, and then there was Untouchable. And I was like, yo, on Walk on Water, like I get it. Like, man, this man is spitting. Like, what like, he's spitting like each, like, at the end of each line, it's like a jab at you or whatever. Like, the way that he spits it. Untouchable is a strong political statement, and River, it's to connect a lot of people with, like, what record labels and like what will sell, like, to the general public. You need that hit single to get out there to make it onto charts and all that. Not saying the other two can't, but River is definitely something in today's society that will translate to a lot of people that are not hardcore Eminem fans, but they like him. Featuring Ed Sheeran. Okay, so I look at this album and I depict it in three different categories. Okay, the first half of the album, majority of it has to do with America and how Eminem dislikes Donald Trump and he's like, screw Trump and this and that. The second half of the album brings you back to a little bit of Eminem taste. Actually, before I even, okay, yeah, I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna go back right now and say that the first half of the album, Eminem is like redefining himself. He is finding these new instrumentals, these new beats, this new style, this new wordplay, molding himself into today's society of what rap sounds like, but still being him. And the reason and that I say that, and the way that I say that, is because as an up and coming artist myself, I find myself depicting different styles, different flows, different poetry throughout the different styles of instrumentals and beats that I come across. So I So I pretty much take that as like, that's him trying new things but still being himself. The second half of the album, you got a little more of that Eminem taste. And so that Eminem taste is like, um, for example, on Framed. Framed is hands down probably my favorite track on the album because Framed has that psycho-ness, that darkness, that evilness that I like. And I get like that Eminem, like that 3 a.m. vibe from it. Then there was another song, Unfaithful Husband, I think it's called. Wait, let me go see. Bad Husband, featuring ex ambassadors. Bad Husband's good. Man, there was one of these songs. It was either Bad Husband or Tragic Endings. It was one of them. And the reason that I point one of those songs out is simply because I got the whole Eminem. Like that's the classic Eminem. That's the Eminem with flows, bars, like that's the normal Eminem that just raps and like hits you with crazy bars. It's almost like a Till I Collapse type vibe, like a Cinderella Man type vibe in um in one of those songs. You know, yeah, and I do believe it's the one featuring Skylar Grey. Yeah, definitely, it's got to be, and that has that vibe. That's like that Cinderella Man type vibe and whatnot. So yeah, like so that's the second half of the album. That's the little portion right there. And then you have these single tracks that I can just tell from previous Eminem albums that these songs are going to be about what I think they're going to be about. For example, my first ever time hearing the song Heat, I'm like, it's going to be about, it's a sex song. It's something like what he did with like Kendrick Lamar on one of the other records and stuff like that. So it was like a silly, fun, go at it, silly sex song, because like almost every record kind of needs one. So it kind of even brings you back like to the roots of like, come on everybody, you know, or I never meant to give you mushrooms, girl, or whatever. But actually, that one's more storytelling. But yeah, so this is like silly, like almost had this like country vibe to it, sex song. And what I like is that he really put, like, I feel like he put a decent spin on indecency because he's so clever with it. And he's like, because on one line, he's like, I would never raise a finger at you unless it's the middle one and I'm sticking it in you, or something like that. And like, he has another line that goes, um, my dick's a computer, it's an apple, and she's like, stick it in me, or something like that. So like these lines are silly, funny, they're dope. And then the end of the album, the last portion of the album, really is like the heartfeltness. So I can tell that he's moved on from making heartfelt songs about his mom to it's more about his daughters, his future, and near the end of the album, he tells stories about Haley growing up and about how he has all these hidden letters all over the place and whatnot. And like there was like notes about how he almost did not make it, which is interesting because it reverts right back to like relapse and all those incidences that I did bring up in the beginning. And you know it pretty much it depicts and tells you that like this is where he's at in life and this is what he wants to focus on. It is his daughters, his family. He shouts out everyone, even his dad, for teaching him what not to do. And yeah, so like that's special. Another cool thing I'd like to really state is the song In Your Head. Okay, now this touch bases with me on different levels, different playing fields, okay? So there's this artist named Molly Gruesome, and she did a song called Zombie, which pretty much like it's the same like hook, like in your head, zombie, you know. So, and Molly Gruesome obviously like remixed that song because like there was an original song, and now Eminem took it and sampled it and made his own version. And so like when I heard that, I'm just astounded because like the Molly Gruesome version is one of my favorite songs. I sing it, you know, like more than once a week, like several times a week on a normal basis because it's so catchy. And just hearing that just like blew my hat off, you know, blew my wig off. I'm like, what? You know, and like it's, you know, it's a proper song, proper structure. Like he touches on whatever topics he touches about, you know, in his head. And he's able to make a sick rap song out of that. So just to hear that, that is so legendary for me alone, because like I remember several times this week having discussions with people when I just talked about the whole zombie track without even knowing Eminem did something like that. That stuff's cool to me. I want to give kudos to myself because I was going to take time to try to write my notes down to talk to you guys, blah, 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 whatever. But I feel like after listening to the album one time, I contained enough information to make a proper review for you. This album's sick. A lot of people hate it, but I loves it. And that's how I depict it. At the beginning, it's Eminem experimenting with new instrumentals and trying to like fit into today's pop culture, hip hop, metaphoric style, but still being himself and touching on American topics. The middle of the sandwich, you know, like the middle, the meat, it's like you get that Eminem vibe, that old school Eminem vibe that you're used to. So it's like a mixture of things. It's almost like fillers of different styles and songs and unique style patterns and whatever. Again, Framed is my favorite track on the record because it's my favorite style. And then at the end, again, he touches more on family life based stuff. So this album is wicked. It's dope. I recommend you guys go get a hard copy. Shout out to my cousin Steph for getting me a hard copy for Christmas. It's been long overdue because I didn't see her on Christmas, but I literally just got this CD 3 days ago. And I found my CD Walkman and listened to it tonight because I finally have some time. And man, it just blew my mind. It's hella dope. Rhymes are hella sick. There's so many punchlines on this record. Y'all gotta peep this shit and listen to it with a different perspective and clarity of mind. Because I got peers that tell me, oh, you know, I don't agree with certain things in songs and it sucks, it's not that good, whatever. You guys are not, like, you guys are just expecting everything to be so old school. Change and move along with the times, guys. You know, Eminem certainly has. And he fucking proves that he can do it better than y'all. Haha. And you know, and then he, like, today, before I even listened to this record, today I heard that new remix song that he put out of a song title I can't even fucking pronounce. Chloroform or some shit. What the fuck? Chloroseptic. I don't even know what the hell that means. But yeah, I know, whatever, make fun of me. But I heard that remix and oh, it was so fire that when I tried to share it, I was looking for like a fire symbol to share it on. Realized I have to share it on Facebook. Whatever. But it was cool. It was dope. It was hella fun, hella dope. So Eminem, good job. Wicked, wicked album. Um, and I hope it's not your last. I literally did listen to the whole thing. I know what you said at the very end, but I hope it's not your last. And I can't wait to see what else comes out of this. Um, you know what? If being myself and whatever, a critic, I guess, plus a hella dope fan. The one thing I would critique about this album, it's cool that you have these amazing collaborations that all worked well together, but I would like to see work with Yellow Wolf, with D12, with 50 Cent, with G Unit. That's what I'd like to see. That's what I was hoping for on this album, but the way it came out blew my mind anyways, so it's hella dope. So please make more music, more albums, and yeah, I just hope to see like full Eminem albums with the featurettes I just mentioned. And one day, man, please make my dream come true. And I hope that you and Insane Clown Posse can make a track. And I'm gonna tell you too right now, I feel like the title of that track, if you guys ever did it, should be called "Too Crazy for This World." That's what I'm saying. Giving you the idea, putting it out there. I'm your boy Troublemaker the Rapper, Insanity Family 13. Shout out Villain MP. I know you said you're surprised you didn't cash this record for Christmas. I don't know if you're gonna get it on your own or if you're still gonna get it as a Christmas present, but I think you're probably gonna have different views and opinions on this record, but these were mine. And I can't wait till you get it so we can have a discussion about it. Talk to my boy Aaron about it because he's been patiently waiting for me to listen to this record so we can talk about it. So, Aaron, if you see this review, we gonna talk. And yeah, man. Thank you, Steph, for getting me this record again. Peace, guys.